everybody is flailing around for some paradigm, you know, some big thing that you can use to control people. The first thing that should come to mind is, wait a minute, is that true? Is it true? Well, take a look. Well, take a look. Most of the big conflicts that are going on around the world were going on right through the Cold War. Nobody was talking about them because it wasn't interesting. But they were there. Well, take a look.
Infiltrate this coven and learn their mind control secrets. Just need to get their attention. Just need to get their attention.
They are mind controlled. An unlimited energy source, efficient, pollution-free, and it comes from water. Water, even seawater. Impossible, you say. But what you're seeing is the water flame.
We take ordinary tap water, separate it through DC electrolysis into an atomic mixture of hydrogen and oxygen through one hose. And it's a clean, burn, reusable fuel source. It takes nothing from the air. It gives nothing back to the air, and when you burn, you have water as the exhaust, so to speak. It takes nothing from the air, it gives nothing back to the air, and when you burn, you have water as the exhaust, so to speak. And it's a clean, burning, reusable fuel source. Clean, burning, reusable fuel source.
First of all, you create the problem, but you get someone else to be blamed for it. First of all, you create the problem, but you get someone else to be blamed for it. You then report that problem through the media in the way you want it reported. Then you get the public to react to your problem by saying something must be done, this can't go on, what are they gonna do about it? And at that point, they, who have covertly created the problem and blame someone else, who glean that reaction of do something, then offer the solution to the problems they have created.
Problem, reaction, solution. Problem, reaction, solution. Problem, reaction, solution. Problem, reaction, solution.
And there are several key mind manipulation techniques which are very, very powerful propaganda tools. The most effective and the most powerful, and it's used on us all the time, is something I call problem, reaction, solution. It's a cracker, this one. It's a mind manipulation technique that avoids not only opposition to what is the goal of the manipulators, it actually manipulates people to demand they do what they want to do anyway. And it's happening all the time. Once you see this technique and how it works, you watch the news and read the newspapers in a completely different light because you start to see it happening. It works like this. You start by secretly creating a problem in the world and making sure someone else is blamed for it in the public arena, in the public mind. It could be a run on a currency, it could be a government collapse, at its most extreme it could be a war, because the two world wars in this century were funded, all sides were funded by the same people. Provable. The same people that funded the Allies in the Second World War and funded the Soviet Union also funded Hitler. Why would they do that? Why would someone want to fund all sides in a war? What is good is a war? Well, first of all, on one level, it makes vast amounts of money if you're lending money to all sides and you're also selling them lots of arms and all that stuff. But the fundamental reason for a war is to change the nature of post-war society. And what we saw in the First World War and the Second World War were massive global examples of problem-reaction solution, which work like this. The problem's created secretly. You then use the media, which isn't difficult, to wind up public opinion in relation to your manufactured problem to the point where public opinion utters the classic words, something must be done, this can't go on, which is always followed by, give my power away, what are they going to do about it? And at that point, those who created the problem and got someone else to be blamed for it wound up that public reaction, then openly in the public arena, in the parliaments of the world, in the newspapers and on the television, offer the solutions to the problems they have created. And in doing so, they get vast numbers of people to demand what they want to do anyway. For instance, if you want more cameras in the streets, crikey, they're going up all over the place in Britain. If you want more cameras in the streets, you want a more armed police force, you want more authoritarian laws, greater erosions of freedom, and you want the public to demand you do it, then get the public frightened of crime. Either let society break down so there is more crime, or emphasize crime to be worse than it really is in some areas. Get people frightened, and the first thing people do when they're in fear about something is they look for someone out there to protect them from what they're frightened of. So, get people frightened that they're going to be burgled, get people frightened they're going to be mugged in the street, and they'll demand you take the freedoms away. They'll demand cameras in the streets and more authoritarian laws.
George Ruddy died today. Edward George Ruddy was the chairman of the board of the Union Broadcasting Systems, and he died at 11 o'clock this morning of a heart condition, and woe is us. We're in a lot of trouble. Television is not the truth. Television is a goddamn amusement park. Television is a circus, a carnival, a traveling troupe of acrobats, storytellers, dancers, singers, jugglers, sideshow freaks, lion tamers, and football players. We're in the boredom-killing business. So if you want the truth, go to yourselves, because that's the only place you're ever going to find any real truth. But man, you're never going to get any truth from us. We'll tell you anything you want to hear. We lie like hell. We'll tell you that Kojak always gets the killer, and that nobody ever gets cancer in Archie Bunker's house. And no matter how much trouble the hero is in, don't worry, just look at your watch. At the end of the hour, he's going to win. We'll tell you any shit you want to hear. We deal in illusions, man. None of it is true. But you people sit there day after day, night after night, all ages, colors, creeds. We're all you know. You're beginning to believe the illusions we're spinning here. You're beginning to think that the tube is reality and that your own lives are unreal. You do whatever the tube tells you. You dress like the tube. You eat like the tube. You raise your children like the tube. You even think like the tube. This is mass madness, you maniacs. In God's name, you people are the real thing. We are the illusion. So turn off your television sets. Turn them off now. Turn them off right now. Turn them off and leave them off. Turn them off right in the middle of the sentence I'm speaking to you now. Turn them off.
I see people around me who the lights are on, but there's nobody home.
That's right.
And that's the norm, not the exception. What is going on out there?
Well, first of all, let's not even talk about the content of what is on television. Let's just talk about watching a lighted box, all right? A lighted box is like watching a hypnotist who has a light. It's a flickering light, and it will actually put the brain into waves that are the hypnotic waves. If you take a person who has never watched television at all, and you put them in front of a television set, it will take 45 minutes before their brain will enter into hypnotic waves. If you put that same person in front of a television set the next night, it will only take 5 minutes before they become hypnotized by the flickering light. And the following day, the third day, they will go into these hypnotic waves in 5 seconds. TV is the greatest thing that has destroyed every nation in the world. Because every show will propagandize you.
They're feminizing men so that men don't stand up and act like men.
And now we have the Department of Truth, aka PC, political correctness, going round and telling us what is the truth and, you know, why our truth isn't the same as their truth. It's very scary that we've reached a stage in society where, under the guise of freedom of speech, we clamp another form of speech.
Television is being totally Judaized. The networks, all the television networks are owned by Jews. The movie studios are owned by Jews. The newspapers are owned by Jews. The magazines are owned by Jews. So all of this is the degeneracy of the Jewish culture coming in to what was previously a Christian culture which had some morality.
The real collision is going to occur is between the subterranean underground media and the mainstream media. Yeah. This is a collision of worlds because one is a facade. It's the Wizard of Oz. Yeah. The mainstream media has become the Wizard of Oz, and sadly it knows it's the Wizard of Oz. Well, of course, this is the mainstream media that everybody is turning away from now. People are looking at this stuff and saying, I don't want to hear about this anymore. I'm tired of this. This is rubbish. I think people, you can fool all of the people some of the time. Once people realize they're being lied to, they start to recognize the fact that they are being treated like idiots and monkeys.